Hello dear students, this is your teacher Alejandra and this is a class of week number 9, Comparatives and Superlatives. Comparative and superlative adjectives. Adjectives can compare two things or more than two things. When we make these comparisons, we use comparative and superlative forms of adjectives. Okay? For example, here we have the adjective strong. The comparative is stronger. We add er at the end. And the superlative is strongest. We add est at the end of the adjective. Okay? Let's explain the comparatives. One way to describe nouns, people, objects, or animals is by comparing them to something else. When comparing two things, you are likely to use adjectives like smaller, bigger, taller, more interesting, and less expensive. Okay? Notice the er ending and the words more and less. Okay? A mistake that both native speakers and non-native speakers make is using incorrectly formed comparative adjectives. Okay? It is going to depend on if the adjective is short or long, okay? Depending on the number of syllables that it has. Small is a one-syllable adjective, so we have to add er at the end. Bigger is another short adjective, so we are going to add er at the end. And the same happens with taller. But with interesting and expensive, that are long adjectives, we have to add the words more and less. And the adjective stays the same, only add more and less. Let's see the example. His cat is more large than my dog. Okay, large is a short adjective, so we cannot add more. Okay, no, this is incorrect. The correct form is his cat is larger than my dog. Okay, we have to add er at the end of the adjective. Rules to make the comparative. For adjectives that are just one syllable, add er to the end. For two-syllable adjectives not ending in y, and for all three or more syllable adjectives, use the form more plus the adjective. And for two-syllable adjectives ending y, change the y to I and add er. Okay, let's see the examples. This house is more exciting than ever. This is the correct form because exciting is a long adjective. Okay, it means three or more syllables, so we have to add the word more. Okay, it's incorrect to say this house is excitinger than ever. Okay, the example number 2, Mike is funnier than Isaac. This is the correct one because funny is a short adjective and it ends in y, so we have to drop the y and add I and then add er. Mike is more funny than Isaac. It's incorrect. The example number 3. This book is boringer than the last one. This is incorrect. The correct form is this book is more boring than the last one. Because boring is a two-syllable adjective. And the last example. Advertising pressures women to be more thin. Okay, this is incorrect. Advertising pressures women to be thinner. Okay, because thin is a short adjective, so we have to add er at the end. Let's go with the superlatives. When comparing more than two things, you are likely to use words and phrases like smallest, biggest, tallest, most interesting, and least interesting. Okay? Notice the est ending and the words most and least. Make sure you use the proper ending or superlative adjective when forming these superlatives. Okay? Instead of adding ER, you're going to add EST when making the superlative, smallest, biggest, and tallest. And instead of using more, you're going to use most. And instead of using less, you're going to use least. Okay? Examples below illustrate the correct form. The incorrect form is Martha is the elder of the 4 sisters. If there were only 2 sisters, we could use the comparative elder here. Because there are 4 sisters, we need a superlative. So the correct form is Martha is the eldest of the 4 sisters. Other examples. I think his last book is his least interesting. His third book was the most interesting. Okay? We're using the words least and the most because we have a long adjective that is interesting. That must be the weirdest play ever written. Okay? We have the superlative form of weird. Remember that adjectives ending in Y change their spelling when EST is added. To form these superlatives, change the Y to an I before adding the EST ending. Okay, let's see the example. That is the sleepiest puppy of the litter. This is incorrect. The correct form is that is the sleepiest puppy of the litter. Okay, drop the Y and change it with an I. Okay. Forming comparative and superlatives of irregular adjectives. Irregular adjectives. It's important to notice that there are irregular adjectives and adverbs that you have to memorize because they don't follow the rules that explained before. For example, we have the adjective or adverb good and well. The comparative is better and the superlative is best. Bad and badly. The comparative is worse and the superlative is worst. Or the comparative is farther or further and the superlative is the farthest and the furthest. With little, we have the comparative less and the superlative least. Examples. Today I had the best time touring the city. I went farther than my friend when we walked around the park. You dance better than I do. You bought the least attractive pair of magazines at the thrift store. We can run the farthest of these classmates, but that's only once around the track. I do badly in math, but at least I'm not the worst. Thank you. Remember to write down everything on your notebook. Bye.